They don't find her right away. Behind an abandoned house, hidden in overgrown brush, the kind of place no one looks unless they know exactly where to search. Just days earlier, she had gone out for a run. Morning light, the same route, the same streets. Everything felt normal. And then she vanished. What was left behind told a different story. Her phone, a water bottle, and a pair of sandals that didn't belong to her. Security cameras caught only a few seconds. A dark vehicle, a sudden movement, and a person who never came back. So what really happened that morning? And how does someone disappear like that in a place where everyone felt safe? 34-year-old Eliza Fletcher was a kindergarten teacher and a devoted mother of 2 young boys. She met her husband, Richard, at church, and that same church is where they were married in 2014. Eliza came from a well-known and successful family. They were heirs to Orgill Incorporated, a major hardware supply company. But honestly, working in the family business was never her path. Her passion was always teaching. She worked as a kindergarten teacher at Promise Academy in Nashville, where she also coached children in sports. Later, she moved to street. Mary's Episcopal School in Memphis, one of the top all-girls schools in Tennessee. Eliza loved what she did. She loved her students. And you could feel it in everything, the way she spoke, the way she treated them, the warmth she brought into every classroom. In one video, she's seen singing to her students.
Join in with me. We're gonna sing This Little Light of Mine, okay? Ready? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no. Miss you girls. Now you need to let the light shine at your house, and I will see you later. But wait, 1 second. I heard somebody that you might want to meet. Janie, come here, girl. Come here, Janie. Come here, Janie. Hey, look, girls. This is Janie. And Janie is the girl in our house because there's 2 little boys and a Mr. Fletcher, and so there's just me and Jane. And I miss all of you girls so much.
While most people were still asleep, Eliza was already getting ready for her morning run near the University of Memphis. Quiet, dark. The city hadn't woken up yet, but for her, this was routine. Running wasn't just a habit, it was part of who she was. She trained seriously every single day, and that year, she placed 22nd among all women at the Street Jude Marathon, a result that qualified her for the elite Boston Marathon, something she had worked toward for years. She ran about 8 miles every day, the same route, the same streets, the same time, everything predictable, controlled, safe, or so it seemed. That morning was no different. 6:45 a.m. The light is just starting to break, but the streets are still nearly empty. A cyclist rides along the same road and suddenly notices something on the ground. A water bottle, a phone, a pair of Champion slides, items that don't belong there. He slows down, looks closer. Something feels off. He's about to turn around to find the owner of the phone, not knowing that within an hour, this would become something much darker. At the Memphis Police Department, a call comes in from Richard. His voice is tense. Eliza didn't come home from her run. She always comes back. Always. No exceptions. But not today. The phone and water bottle found on the road confirmed to be hers. But the sandals, not hers. Someone else's. And that detail starts to break the illusion of a normal morning. Police quickly pull surveillance footage. Frame by frame, Eliza appears running her usual route. Pink workout top. Blue-purple Lululemon shorts. Calm. Focused. No idea what's about to happen. And then, everything changes. A dark GMC Terrain, which had been circling the area for about 30 minutes, suddenly pulls over. It doesn't pass by, it doesn't leave, it waits. And when Eliza runs past, the door opens. A man jumps out, no warning, no hesitation. He rushes her, grabs her, forces her into the vehicle. It happens in seconds, fast. violent, unexpected. The car stays there for about 4 minutes. 4 long minutes that feel like forever. And no one steps in, no one sees, then she's gone. The car speeds off, disappearing from view. It all happens so quickly that the footage gives almost nothing. It's still dark outside. The quality is poor. The attacker's face isn't visible. But even in the chaos, there are details. One of the headlights is damaged. A small detail, but critical. And part of the license plate is visible. Not enough to identify the car immediately, but enough to start the hunt. The sandals found on the road likely belonged to the attacker. The only thing he left behind, they were immediately sent for testing. Because now, every detail matters.
From the skies and on foot, police scouring this Memphis neighborhood Sunday, searching for a mother now missing.
Uncle of Liza Fletcher. On behalf of Liza's family, her husband Richie, her children, her mom Adele, her father Beasley, her brother Gil, and all the members of her family, we want to make a brief statement. We want to start by thanking everyone for their prayers and outpouring of support. Liza has touched the hearts of many people, and it shows. We want to thank the Memphis Police Department, Shelby County Sheriff Department, TBI, FBI, and all of the other law enforcement agencies who are working tirelessly to find Liza. The family has met with police, and we have shared with them all the information we know. More than anything, we want to see Liza returned home safely. The family has offered a reward for any information that leads to her safe return. We believe someone knows what happened and can help. If you have any information on this crime or Liza's location, call the police at 901-545-COPS or call Crime Stoppers at 901-528-CASH. Thank you.
Setting up their mobile command center and with investigators on site. The department has released surveillance images of Fletcher from her morning run, shown in a pink athletic top and purple bottoms. They also released 2 images of the vehicle the suspect abducted her in. The City of Memphis attorney Jennifer Sink did tweet earlier today saying Fletcher is her niece, asking community members to contact the police if they see her. Police haven't released any information on Fletcher's immediate family. In an effort to make runners more aware as they go on early mornings and late night runs, an avid runner in the Memphis area says she recommends all female runners run in pairs or groups.
The reward for Eliza's safe return climbed to $50,000. The number kept rising, just like the tension. Through a relative, the family went to the media, their voices shaking, words breaking, but the message was clear. Please help. Someone saw something. Someone knows something. And now, every second matters. Police moved fast, aggressive. They even searched Eliza and Richard's home, collecting items, a laptop, the family vehicle. Not because they suspected them, but because they couldn't afford to miss anything. In cases like this, everything gets checked. No exceptions. Even though investigators quickly leaned toward a random attack by a stranger, the internet took on a life of its own. Social media exploded with theories. People started searching for answers where there were none. And soon, the most painful theory surfaced. Her husband, Richard, became a target. Talk of inheritance, motives, hidden conflict. For a family already living through a nightmare, it was another blow. Public, brutal, unfair. But the truth doesn't stay hidden for long. In less than a few days, investigators identified a suspect. Fast, precise, no guesswork. A dark GMC Terrain was found in a parking lot with a damaged headlight. The same detail seen on camera, the same vehicle that had been waiting in the dark, and now it was right in front of them. Not moving, not running. DNA from the sandals found on the road came back almost immediately, and the name attached to it was already known to the system. Not new, not random. 38-year-old Cleotha Abston, also known as Henderson. His story didn't start that morning. It went back years. At 11, he was already on law enforcement's radar. And over time, it only got worse. He had just been released after serving 20 years for kidnapping. 20 years and back on the streets. Between 1995 and 2000, he had been arrested 16 times. Sexual assault, theft, violent attacks, weapons. This wasn't one mistake. It was a pattern. One of his past victims, Kempteron, later described what happened to him. He was forced into a car around 2 a.m. and only escaped because he managed to draw attention. He said he was certain just a little longer and he wouldn't have survived. And now, another case, another victim, same pattern. Even in prison, the behavior didn't stop. 19 incidents of misconduct. The warnings were there, the signs were there, but nothing stopped him. He was arrested, charged with especially aggravated kidnapping and tampering with evidence. Finally, he was in custody. But Eliza was still missing. And the most terrifying part, he wasn't talking.
Levon, it's been a long day, not only for the family, but of course, authorities and everyone praying for Eliza Fletcher's safe return. Now, this just in, we do know that a bond has been now set for the suspect in this case, Cleotha Abston. That's at $500,000. This is just day 3 in the search for missing kindergartner teacher Eliza Fletcher.
Memphis police, along with other agencies, and eventually the FBI began piecing everything together, step by step, minute by minute. They compared phone data, movements, cell tower pings, tracking where Cleotha had been, where Eliza had been, and where those two lines crossed. This wasn't guesswork anymore. It was math, cold, precise, unemotional. His phone appears exactly where she disappears, at the same location captured on camera, and then again somewhere else, miles away from her usual route. The picture starts to form. And the clearer it becomes, the more disturbing the truth looks. Then, 4 days after she vanished, about 7 miles from the place she was last seen running her usual route, the news comes in. Not the kind anyone wanted to hear. Not the one they were hoping for. Not the one they had been praying for. It's that moment when hope still lingers. But deep down, everyone already knows everything has changed.
Memphis police say they have discovered a body.
Yesterday evening, September 5th, at approximately 5:07 p.m., the Memphis Police Department and other law enforcement partners discovered the remains of a body, a human body, in the rear of a vacant duplex apartment at the 1600 block of Victor Street. Further forensic investigation by the MPD traffic unit positively identified the body was, in fact, Eliza Fletcher.
Her body was found behind an abandoned house, hidden in overgrown brush, the kind of place no one goes without a reason. Quiet, empty, like it was meant to hide something. She had been brutally beaten. There was a gunshot wound to her head, a broken jaw, injuries to her legs. This didn't look like a single attack. It looked like repeated violence. Like something that didn't stop when it should have. Nearby, inside a bag, were her running shorts, another cold detail pointing to what happened after she was forced into the car. Toxicology later revealed fentanyl in her system, but it didn't answer the most important question when it got there, or how. There was no evidence Eliza had ever used drugs, and that made everything even more disturbing. Investigators believe she was assaulted while the vehicle was stopped. Those same 4 minutes captured on camera started to mean something very different. The suspect's phone kept placing him in key locations where she was taken and where her body was later found. This wasn't coincidence anymore. It was connection. Clear. Direct. Witnesses said they saw him carefully cleaning the inside of his car with chemicals, like he was trying to erase something that couldn't be erased. His brother Mario told police he saw him washing his clothes in the sink shortly after the abduction. Rushed, panicked, trying to hide what happened. But some things you can't wash away.
While the outcome of this investigation is not what we hoped for, we are nonetheless pleased to remove this dangerous predator off the streets of Memphis.
First-degree murder charges were added against Cleotha Abston, the most serious charge, leaving no doubt about how this ended. Along with it came additional charges: identity theft, theft of property under $1,000, and fraudulent use of a credit card. Details that showed something chilling after the crime, he kept going, calm, calculated, like it was just another step. His brother, Mario Abstin, was also arrested, but on separate charges: drug possession with intent to distribute fentanyl and heroin, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony. At that point, the case was growing. It wasn't just about one person anymore. It was becoming something bigger, darker, more complicated. And the more details came out, the harder it hit people. This case sparked massive attention, not just in Memphis, but across the country. People were shaken because this didn't happen somewhere far away. It happened where people run in the morning, where they live, where they felt safe. And suddenly, that sense of safety was gone. A week later, hundreds of people came together for an event called Let's Finish Liza's Run. They followed the same route, the same streets, the same miles she had started that morning. They ran for her to finish what she couldn't.
Running. You can see behind me, we've got somebody running this road on Central Avenue and South Goodlet. But people are just really coming together, and you can see the community is really tightening up and showing their support and celebrating the life of Eliza Fletcher. And many people met here at 4 this morning and started this 8.2-mile run at 4:20, around the time that Eliza would have started running.
Despite the overwhelming evidence, Cleotha Abstin pleaded not guilty. The trial was set for February 2025. Prosecutors made it clear they would seek the death penalty. At the same time, he was facing additional serious charges in a separate case: aggravated sexual assault, kidnapping, and unlawful possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. It turned out that a year before the abduction and murder of Eliza, he had already committed another violent crime. He had held a young woman, Alicia Franklin, at gunpoint and assaulted her. But because of delays in processing key evidence, especially the sexual assault kit, the cases were never connected in time, and he remained free. Alicia later said that because of how her case was handled, she was filing a lawsuit against the city of Memphis and the police department. She believed their negligence allowed him to stay on the streets and commit another crime. They knew who it was, and they did nothing. And because of that, Eliza Fletcher was killed. If they had done their job, she would still be alive, her attorney said. Her evidence kit took 9 months to process. And only on September 5th, 3 days after Eliza was abducted, was the DNA finally entered into the national database. In court, the jury reached a verdict.
And the verdict reads as follows: Count 1. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of aggravated rape as charged in count 1 of the indictment.
Friday, criminal court judge Lee Coffey announcing verdicts in a 3-count indictment against Cleotha Abstin, the man charged with raping Alicia Franklin in 2021. In addition to aggravated rape, Abstin was found guilty of aggravated kidnapping and unlawful possession of a firearm by a convicted felon.
Decades behind bars for what he did long before Eliza's case. For a crime that could have been a warning, but wasn't. And after that, something starts to shift. His stance in Eliza's case no longer looks as confident. The firm denial begins to crack. The silence doesn't hold the same weight anymore. The pressure builds. The evidence keeps stacking piece by piece, and every piece points in the same direction. And for the first time, it becomes clear he's no longer in control of this story.
First at 4, in a surprising turn of events, the man charged with kidnapping and killing Eliza Fletcher enters guilty pleas on all charges.
He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The end. No options, no way out. The judge says the words that mean he will never walk free again, not once, not for a single day. In court, he looks the same as before. No emotion, empty eyes, no reaction, no remorse, no fear. As if none of this is happening to him. As if he's just watching someone else's story unfold. And then the words of the family. In a written statement, Eliza's family says what everyone in that room feels. We don't know what happened to you that made you become someone who wants to hurt others. But whatever it was, it does not excuse or explain your actions. You changed our lives forever, and nothing will ever be the same. You killed Liza, even though she did nothing to deserve it. She never hurt you. In fact, she would have been the first person to help you if you needed it. This isn't just a statement. It's an answer to something he will never explain. The district attorney adds one final detail. The defendant waives his right to appeal, which means no years of legal battles, no future hearings, no second chances to change anything.
This person will never be released from prison. He will die in prison. And that is a good thing for the safety of the community.
After the cases of Eliza and Alicia Franklin, changes were made to the law. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is now required to regularly report timelines for processing evidence in sexual assault cases. A decision that came too late for some, but could save others. Because it was that delay, that single failure in the system, that gave him time. Time he never should have had. What happened to Eliza Fletcher was a nightmare. Not fictional, not something from a movie, real. And the same kind of nightmare for everyone affected by the crimes of Cleotha Abston. For those who survived. For those who lost someone. For those who now have to live with it. This case is a chilling example of what can happen when the system fails. When warning signs are ignored. When crimes aren't stopped in time. And if you look at his past, it becomes clear he was never going to stop. Never. Eliza's family says her smile radiated joy, energy, and warmth. She was the kind of person who could light up a room just by walking into it. Her husband, her children, her parents, her brother, her friends, her students, her colleagues, her church community. For every one of them, she was someone special. And that's how they remember her. So many people were touched by the countless ways she showed faith, kindness, and compassion. Small moments, words of encouragement, smiles, simple gestures that stayed with people. She meant so much to so many. And now, every one of their lives is a little less bright.